Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward.
Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert to your own research. Okay, so Bitcoin is dumping right here. Everybody's freaking the fuck out. What's the overall market context, and where do I see price going? Today I'll just review Bitcoin, and I'll also talk about some of the altcoins I will maybe be looking at. As I've said the last several days and weeks, I think that this price action is fairly normal. I think that after we see these big liquidation runs, we usually see price get close down to where the lows were at. So if you look down on very low time frames, especially when you see these big dumps happening in real time, you'll see that price, has this massive liquidation run. um, People get destroyed, and you'll see some sort of lower high get printed, and then we'll see price revisit the lows, and it'll either swing past the lows and or sweep the lows and go lower, or it will get close to the lows and have a higher low. But either way, it's very common for this overall type of price action, and I've been of the opinion that 44 to 42K is going to be revisited again. And the reason is that after you see many of these liquidations, you'll see that price, as I said, likes to come back to these areas. Now, again, the really good stuff is if you look on the lower time frame charts, like the 5 minute or the 1 minute, especially when this stuff is happening in real time. But as I said, you can see this pattern play out across every time that there's like a big liquidation run. You'll see that price almost always likes to get close to the lows again, or even sweep them. In many cases, sweep them. So again, you'll see big wicks down, and then you'll see it get bought back up, form some sort of lower high, and then break down again. This is really the overall type of price action that I'm viewing from September. I think that this type of price action is what I'm really looking for. Okay, I'm sorry, I should clarify. I believe that this current price action is more closely similar to the summer of 2021, where this is just an overall ranging consolidation accumulation pattern. And price obviously had a big liquidation from the move down from 60K to 30K, and hit some lower highs, tapped that area a few times, and then all the selling got absorbed, and then we moved higher. And what happened after that? We hit some sort of lower high, and the lower highs comparatively since back in April and May, and price eventually formed a higher low, and then price moved up higher. So again, bullish market structure. Now, what I'm expecting here is I'm expecting price. This was kind of the range high area, and this is again not a surprise that price did what it did. I mean, we're basically at the point where it's kind of like similar to this area right here. As you can see back in June 2021, June 14th, 15th, and similar to September 16th or so, um, you can see that price kind of hit this lower high and then nuked lower and ran past the lows from the initial liquidations. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And again, it would not surprise me at all to see this go to 43K or so. There might be a mean reversion bounce somewhere around here, but usually in my experience, when these start to go, they go pretty fast. So you'll want to start bidding lower than you think, especially for altcoins, because altcoins are probably going to get destroyed, in my opinion. And with that said, I am bidding some of the high time frame structurally bullish ones, such as near. But as I said, this is overall very normal price action. I still believe that we are bullish on high time frame charts. I think that we go to 43K or so, and then we hit a lower high. So my overall plan is to, sorry. Okay, this is my overall plan, and I already highlighted this in other charts as well. Is I believe that we'll hit some sort of ranging consolidation accumulation pattern from 40 to 50K or so. And at that point, people are going to be very bearish at the lows, in which case I believe that we should be buying the fuck out of a lot of stuff, Bitcoin included. And then I think we hit a lower high compared to some of the highs that we saw back in November, similar to the price action where we saw a lower high in September compared to the highs back in May and April. And at that point, I'm really waiting to see where the lows are printed. So I'll be de-risking a lot of altcoins and Bitcoin at this point. I will be selling some coins when price hit the bearish retest around 60K, and at that point, I'm really waiting to see where the lows are printed. If we see some sort of higher low like this, like we saw in late September, and we see it maybe around, I don't know, 55K or something like that, then I'm still fully bullish, because in my opinion the market structure is it's still bullish on high time frame charts, in the sense that this would be a higher low. And I'll illustrate that in another chart, but as I said before, it's still structurally bullish to me on high time frame charts. This is fairly normal price action. um, Here's another overall chart that I made for Bitcoin. As I said before, there's usually three different types of trends that you see with any trading asset. It's a clear bull trend from January 15th, or I'm sorry, December, all the way to April. This went nothing but up from 10K to 60K. At this point, we hit a bearish market structure when we hit lower highs and lower lows in April. Nuked down from 60 to 30K, and we hit an accumulation ranging consolidation where prices chops around, doesn't do anything, crabs for several months. And at that point, we see where the highs and lows are printed after the higher low is printed in late September and further a higher high. At that point, we have a bullish market structure. So at this point, I still believe that the higher low is printed around 41K or so, 42K. I do believe, it was always going to be some sort of higher low. If we went from 70 all the way down from to below 38 in one go, that would be very surprising to me. But structurally, it's still a bullish market structure. And I'm not saying we can't go lower, but I think that we get a lower high before we go lower. Like, if it just goes and chops around and then we nuke lower, I'm going to be very, very surprised. To me, I still believe that we are going to hit a lower high first, something like 60K, 55K, I don't know where. And then at that point, I'm going to see where the low is printed. If we hit some sort of like low and then like we break below this 42K, I'm just selling everything, because at that point, in my opinion, we hit a lower high and then a lower low. And that would just be bearish, in my opinion. But if the opposite happens, where we hit a lower high and then we hit a higher low, similar to the structure back in September, then I believe that the overall high time frame market structure is still intact, and this is still bullish. So I have highlighted my plan several times over the last several weeks. I do believe that taking some off around 60K or so, some exposure if you are overexposed to crypto, is a good idea. And those are kind of my overall thoughts. Two coins that I'm really eyeing right now are YFI and Luna. I'm not Luna, I'm sorry, Near. Luna is also probably pretty good too. I did check this fib chart. I did bid 29K. There's a lot of confluence here. 200 EMA on the 4-hour, the 0.5 fib, and I have remained patient on this one, so I am now in. So let's see if I get some sort of lower high, like something like this, and then lower. So this is just a scalp for me. So I am targeting like kind of 35, 34K area, and I'll start taking profit as well on the lower parts, like 32K or so. But as I said, this is more of a scalp trade for me. One other trade, as you guys know, that I'm really interested in is Near, and Near to me is still a bullish market structure overall. I did get some filled, I think around $13. I'm using this fib, and I'm just going to keep filling all the way from 11 to 13. This is just like a swing trade for me. I believe that these levels should hold. Don't know exactly where the bottom will be. I still feel pretty strongly that these bids will fill, and one of these areas will be overall support. So I am just filling bids. Just have them peppered all throughout 11 to 13, and it's just a swing trade for me. But there is just a lot of confluence along this area overall. So those are kind of my overall thoughts on Bitcoin and two altcoin trades that I'm viewing. Again, nothing to panic. Let's just go see what happens.